Okay, so this week's topic is going to be um, kind of a warm and fuzzy, and I just wanted to kind of remind us of some things that are super important and kind of bring us back in down and into the heart, into ourselves. I feel that it's a stressful time, and people are feeling that a little bit. And in my research thinking about how to approach it, I was reading through some of my books from, that were written years and years, like over 100 years ago, and books that are more current. And um, nothing's changed. There's always something um, happening that people think are going to end the world. This isn't the first virus. There's been other plagues and pandemics. And you can read articles or read books that mention it, and it sounds like today. It sounds like today. And also, there's been a lot of elections. Every 4 years we have one, and the world has not stopped turning, has not come to an end yet. And I listen to people when I'm out and about, and I talk to people, and there's just such a high level of tension around everything right now. If it's not being afraid that you're gonna gonna contract an illness and suffer enormous consequences, then what's going to happen in the election if you're for or against the person who wins it, and the fallout from that. And really, if you look through history, it doesn't matter a lot. Uh, the world keeps turning. What is going to be is going to be. We do our part, but we can't change it by anxiety and fear and terror. We can't change it by forgetting why we're here as human beings, and who we are. And we are, the divine. And even if you don't think you are, if you think you're just a human here moving across the face of the earth, what's the point if you are going to be dragged around by everything that you hear? I mean, I know what I believe, and I know, what my thoughts and opinions are about things, but then I'm done with it. I'm done with it. I act accordingly, but I press on into the rest of my life. I look in the mirror. I love myself. I love my friends, and I love my life. And going outside and looking around, I mean, the outside is our friend. The outside is where we can be now, a lot. And people are really getting in touch with that again, getting in touch with what is happening in nature, and noticing, the sky and the trees and stuff. And, there's the sun comes up every day. The sun comes up every day. Even if it's cloudy, the sun has risen behind the cloud, and eventually it's going to break through. And the sun sets and night comes in, and with it we can rest. We can see the vastness of the starry sky, and then the cycle again, sun comes up. The waves lap against the shore. The moon goes through its cycles. These big, huge signs from nature that, the earth is suffering enormous abuse at our hands and catastrophe, yet it keeps on going and keeps on providing for us, in spite of us. And I was listening to a talk, this gentleman, and he was talking about, how he came to, he does a great work in working with people with trauma and PTSD and different forms of trauma. And, his father was in a concentration camp, and his, he said it early on. He watched his, father had, survived from that, and, you know, began treating the family how he had been treated. And he said that was his first dose of how humanity just goes around in a circle. It goes around in a circle. And then, he's like, countries are always at war. Humans are always killing each other. Not to say that we shouldn't strive for peace, but he said the country that he's from, he was taught that certain people were bad. And he said certain sects of that people, certain groups of that population did bad things, but not all of them were bad. It's it's humanity goes on in its circles and cycles. So, there's really nothing new under the sun um, at all. And there's nothing out there that hasn't been probably experienced on a lesser scale or a different scale than we're experiencing right now. So what do we do? How do we help ourselves um, come back to home? Come back to home, ground down in here. This is where we ground down. This is where we run around and we get excited and jump on um, everything that we hear. And here is where we ground down. So we get back into the love that's in us, and we get back into who and what we are, which is divinity. We're divine, powerful beings. We're the ones who choose how we're going to conduct ourselves in our daily life. We're the ones who choose how we're going to think and feel. We're the ones who choose that. People, you listen to people's stories of survivors, and really the difference was how they were thinking and their perspective about themselves and life. Put them past what was happening and put them forward into something better. And we deal with things as they come up in our life. We look around and we find answers, right? We look around and we find answers. We're very adaptable. The earth is adaptable. It's been evolving and changing with us, and so have we. So everything is moving and shifting and changing, but it's not the end. It's not the end. There's going to be something else. There's going to be something else. So we have to become that inner self that we are. We have to become more authentic and less experientially driven. And that doesn't mean we lay down in the road and get run over, but it means that we if I know how I think and I know what I believe, then I'm at peace with what is happening. I do my best to stand up for the things that I believe in, to live the life that I want to have, and help other people find that within themselves. I vote, all of this stuff, but then I move on. I move on and I keep generating love. I keep generating love. And really, our whole journey here is, we're walking alone together with a bunch of people. This is my journey, and I'm doing it collectively with some other people. But ultimately, my lifeline, my timeline is mine. And it's up to me to evolve. And it's up to me to examine what is happening inside of me, and if I like it or not, and then how I can change that. Or it's up to me to reach higher, go for a deeper relationship, more power within myself. How can I bring more love to the earth? And get back to what's really, really important. So I'm going to just read something that's going to be familiar to a lot of people, and I'm going to just read it, but not totally verbatim. But it kept coming up to my mind when I was thinking about talking today, and So I looked it up. Let's see where we are. Okay. So it starts out with behold. So do you know what behold means? It means sit up and listen. Behold means pay attention. Okay. So pay attention. Here's what I have seen to be good and fitting. It's to eat and drink and to find enjoyment in all the labor which you labor under the sun during the few days of life which you have. Um, for this is your reward. And to every man to whom God has given riches and possessions, which is every man, it's up to us, he has also given the power and ability to enjoy them and to receive this portion and to rejoice in his labor. Um, for he will not often consider the troubled days of his life, because God keeps him occupied and focused on the joy of his heart. So we all know that we're divine, and the divine lives within us, and we are divine, and we are the I am. So really what this is saying to us is there's one great thing under the sun, and that's to rejoice, to eat and to drink, to be satisfied, to be happy. And because in so doing, the desires and joys of your heart will keep you occupied, and you'll continue to move along the path of life productively, radiating out of you peace and joy and love. Because honestly, if the end of your lifeline was tomorrow and you've been grousing around all this time, you've missed out on the eating and drinking with family and friends. You've missed out on the rejoicing and fulfillment of the desires of your heart by being consumed with the thoughts of our mind and the thoughts of other people's minds, which are swirling all around us. We have enlightenment within us. We have enlightenment within us. And we're not going to be different people in a year. We might behave differently. We might be skinnier or fatter. We might have new jobs or whatever it is, but we're not different people. We haven't become different authentic beings. We're still divine. We're still divine. So where are we going with that through all of this? This is an opportunity. It's an opportunity to remove roadblocks within ourselves, to look within ourselves how we can have more fun and really appreciate and enjoy the people and things around us right now. Just to sit and think, sit down to a great meal and, an iced tea or a glass of wine or whiskey, whatever it is that you love, to sit down and enjoy it with people that you love, and to look across the table and see them there and know the importance of them in your life. There's no greater gift than that. There's nothing greater. You can own a piece of jewelry. It's not going to keep giving to you like that. It's not. Life comes from the life that we pour out. Life pours in. And we pour it back and forth, and we move along this path together. So that is my reminder for today. We need to have fun. We need to laugh and sing and play with our friends, like children. Or laugh and sing and play with yourself. Get out there, get outside, and notice what's happening around you that isn't part of what is happening inside of your brain, what you're reading and watching, etc. So we are deeply and profoundly loved, and we have the capacity to do that for each other because we are love. So that is the message today. Eat, drink, and love. So unmute yourselves if you'd like to comment. silence.
That's a great reminder.
Thanks. Any questions or comments? Any thoughts?
I wish all the people I work with were listening to this right now.
Super easy to get distracted. Super easy. And things are heavy in the proportion that we give them all of our life energy, you know? But we're lights. We're lights in this world. There's flaws with everything if you dig deep below the surface. We have to be the difference, the love that we want to see out there. Alrighty. We'll move on to the meditation. I'm going to mute you guys because if it really. Alrighty. So get comfortable. Get comfortable. Tap into your breath. Your rhythmic breathing. Tap into your heart. Let the breath flow through your heart space. Let it connect you with your sanctuary, your secret garden. Connect with the emotion of love, appreciation, or gratitude. Let that feeling fill you up. Feel supported by it. All around you. Image in your heart a table, a big table, beautifully set. And you are there at the table. and image all the people you know and love. They're coming one by one and sitting down at this table. Every time someone sits down, the table gets bigger. It makes room for more. One by one, they come and sit down. The table gets bigger. Always room for more. Image everyone you know and love that loves you for all time, seated at this table. This bounty in front of you. And they bring their friends, and the table gets bigger. The table gets bigger. And they call to the stranger, the passerby, and the table gets bigger. And they all sit down. And you look around, and there's nothing but love. Filling the space, coming out of their eyes. And there's nothing but love coming out of you. And more people come, and they sit down, and the table gets bigger. Always enough. Abundant supply. And the love grows stronger. And you feel it everywhere. And you see it in their eyes, in their actions. And more people come. The table gets bigger. From all over the earth. Here come people from the other side of the world, and they sit down. The table gets bigger. There's nothing but love. And you look out and you see all these people have come for the feast at your table. This is your family. This is you in all your many forms. We are all the same. And there's nothing but love. There's always room. Our divine heart has no end of supply to meet the demand of love for your family. Look around at all the people with love in their face, love in their eyes, love from you to them and them to you. Connect with the emotion of gratitude. Gratitude that you have a bountiful table within your heart where there is no end to the room, where everyone fits. There's always enough. Gratitude for the divine life that you are in your own perfect expression. Gratitude for your beautiful life. Take a big breath in, empty it out. Take another breath in and out. Come back to this place and time. When you're ready, open your eyes. Everybody's on blank screen.
Really?